Okay, so these honeypot ants, these weird looking guys over here, these are the storage vessels basically. I started by calculating the respiratory quotient. I've been waiting for a question on this. I've not seen one before. This is, yeah, not too bad at all really, but you just have to remember which way around. But if you remember, the max value basically for RQ is 1. If you do your sums the wrong way up, you're going to get a number that's bigger than 1. Okay, this one is 1.01, but it's pretty close. If you did this one backwards, you're going to get a number that's much bigger than 1, and therefore you should have an indication that you've done your sums the wrong way around. Okay, so am I right, first of all, before I tell you what you're doing? Mainly carbohydrates. Protein or lipid and carbohydrate. RQ is 0.9. Okay, so I think this is fine. Mainly protein. And do not allow all 3 substrates. Allow amino acid for protein. Allow fat, oil, triglyceride, fatty acid, or lipid. 3 marks for completed table. RQs to greater number. Allow RQs to a greater number of significant figures, e.g. this, and this. Okay, so they are accepted. 2 marks for correctly calculated RQ values in justification column. Okay, so, they've put mainly carbohydrates. Why are they allowed to put mainly carbohydrates and me not allowed to write mainly proteins? Lipids. 3. Similarities and differences between chitin. Where it's chitin and glycogen. Similarities: polymers or polysaccharides. Both are polymers. Well, we've got polymers there, and that's it. Both have 6 carbons. 6 carbon sugars. Allow have hexoses. Are both in the same orientation. Have CH. This side group CH2OH. Both have 1,4 glycosidic bonds. Okay, so I've kind of double stacked that question. In the same orientation. There's nothing about the orientation. Hexoses are in both. Hexoses in both. So I think this is fine for the hexoses. Differences. What do we got here? Chitin has beta glycosidic bonds. Chitin contains nitrogen. No 1,6 glycosidic bonds in chitin. No branching in chitin. Chitin is not. Okay. I'm assuming that's out of 4 here. Again, the polymers of carbohydrates lesson in the ultimate guide, basically every structural function difference, apart from the one I just ballsed up on cellulose, which I'm going to have to go back and refilm now, is basically so many marks in that one lesson there. So many marks. Okay, again, we have a levels answer. Let's see. Occurs in the mitochondria or mitochondrial membrane. We've got membrane and we've got the intermembrane space, the inner membrane and the matrix. So the intermembrane space. Well, did I say the electron transport chain? I didn't actually state that that takes place on the cristae. Technically kind of in the cristae. The cristae. Involves movement of hydrogen across the membrane, definitely. So pumps protons into the intermembrane space, forming a proton gradient. Protons pumped out of the matrix, so we've got pumped in there as well. I think this is going to be on. Into the intermembrane space. Proton gradient created. Proton motive force I didn't mention. Hydrogen ions pass through the hydrophilic transmembrane protein. Christie I didn't mention. ATP synthase. Hydrogen ions move from high concentration to low concentration, so they diffuse. Some protons leak back into the matrix. It's not completely efficient. Okay, so my answer was a little bit scattered. Full detailed description of the process involving chemiosmosis. Learner demonstrates a detailed understanding of where it occurs, the stages, reactants, products, describing a range of processes involved. Well-developed line of reasoning. And the next level down is detailed description of the process involved, chemiosmosis. Learner demonstrates understanding of where it occurs, stages, reactants, products, describing some of the processes involved. I mean, like, it definitely left a lot to be desired. I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to dock myself 2 marks here. I'm going to give myself 4. So for that question, which I think is that all of the question? Yeah, so that is 8 out of, oh no, it's not 8, is it? It's actually 8. It's 11. And I dropped 2 in total. So 11 out of 13.